Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 400, and tonight is Corona Hour number 8. And my name is Mel Popeye Moss. The guy sitting next to me here is Geezer, our national SA of Sons of Liberty Riders MC, and on the line with us via the the wonders of the cell phone is OG National Vice President, Sons of Liberty Riders MC. And you guys, one at a time, Mel, OG, you first. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Sitting here with my Corona and just being mellow.
That reminds me. How are you doing, Geezer, as we get ready to open up our Corona beers with our shark opener? Oh, yeah. It's cooler than cool.
I'm doing great, doing better now that my Corona's open.
There you go. And we're not making fun of the coronavirus. We're just enjoying ourselves because the COVID-19 is a dangerous thing. But hey, we're not going to run and hide from it. And this is the reason we're doing the Corona Hour. And this is our 8th show doing the Corona Hour. So, OG, it's hard to believe. It is hard to believe that it's been 8 weeks that we've been doing this. And the what we see going on over this period of time, we went from everything needed to be shut down. Everybody's business was shut down. Everybody was told to hide in their homes. And, you can only do that so long before people begin to suffer, before our economy begins to suffer, and it is. And now we look out there and see what's going on, and people are wanting to get back to work. People are wanting to get out there. The kids, they're wanting to go back to school. The college kids, they're not going to put up with it because they said they would rather take their chances than continue staying at home and not, as far as many as them say, I want the college experience. Well, I can't blame them. And, we went through weeks of hiding, weeks of trying to flatten the curve. And, finally, you just got to say enough already. And we've seen so much misinformation that we don't know which way's up anymore. Now, Mel, did you hear what I said about the guidelines that came out for playing tennis?
The guidelines that came out for what?
Playing tennis.
No.
Oh, yeah. The guidelines
They
for
spray
playing
the ball each time it goes over the net? Or?
No, this is
Worse than that.
Oh, yeah. So if you're playing tennis, you must write your name on your balls. Now, during the game, you cannot kick your opponent's balls.
You can kick
Wait a minute. You can kick your opponent's balls, but you cannot touch your opponent's balls. So I got that backwards there, but hey, look, that's the guidelines for playing tennis. Now I don't know what the guidelines is for women, because apparently that one is for the males. Just saying. But that was my attempt at a joke. But you know what? Those guidelines are real. Think about that.
And when she was reading the guidelines, she had a hard time keeping a straight
Yes,
face.
she did. The lady that was putting out those guidelines. So, but it's a crazy thing. And I'm looking at our chat line. We see Ghost Eagle there, Laura Bell. Good evening. How are y'all doing? And so you guys, one thing we wanted to get talking into, and that's the bad apples within law enforcement. And of course, we saw an example of it this week, where the law officer in Minneapolis had put his knee on a black man's neck, and I guess went on with this for 8 to 10 minutes. And in the video, you could kind of see him go, and that was a sickening thing to watch in this day and age, when we've seen this type of thing before. And OG, it makes me think of all the bad apples we've seen over the years. And we can go back to Fort Worth, Texas, where we had the pepper spray cop, where he got out of his car and he attempted to spray the bikers that were passing by. These are sport bikers. He attempted to pepper spray them. And of course, we know the effects of pepper spray or any type of tear gas, especially if you've had military experience. You know what that does to your sight. And so, he put these guys in a dangerous situation. But the look on that cop's face when he was doing that, he was meaning to do them harm. And that guy is still with the Fort Worth Police Department. But he's not the only one. We can rewind and look back to White Settlement, Texas, where a sheriff's deputy who happened to be sitting on the city council of White Settlement got pissed off because some motorcyclists were there seeking the proclamation, motorcycle safety proclamation from the city, which we do this all over the state of Texas every year in April, May. We do this all over Texas. But this sheriff's deputy, his name was White, and he's still on as the sheriff's department. But what he did was he identified everybody there as banditos. He identified everybody there as being at Twin Peaks. He identified everybody there as a criminal, yet there was not one that any of that was true about. Not one. And so that bad apple is still with the sheriff's department, because let me tell you, that is a guy full of hate toward motorcyclists. And, it doesn't matter whether you're in a 1% club or what. He was ready to identify everybody as a 1% club member, even though they weren't. And, he did this with their children present. That guy is a bad apple. And Sheriff Wayburn should have done the right thing and fired his ass. But no, he's still there.
Let's not forget Sergeant Steroids either.
Oh, yeah.
Wilson's.
Then Sergeant Steroid, Fort Worth, Texas. Oh, yeah. He had to push everybody around, where we walked into a situation where the Fort Worth PD had showed up based off of fiction put out by the DPS that 700 Mongols were coming to town, and all this other stuff, all this bad stuff. Went out there and tried to keep restaurants from letting them come into their establishments, and posting stuff all over Fort Worth there, especially down around the stockyards, that hey, no colors allowed, no gang paraphernalia, none of that kind of stuff. But we ran into these Fort Worth gang task force unit. They're at Wilson's Leather Goods in Fort Worth. A family business has been there for 38 something years, and so and of course that was the Vagos MC members who were there seeking to get some rain gear or to see what they had in the way of rain gear because it had been raining. And, here comes the police, hands against the wall. Hands against the wall. And if you guys have ever seen that video, you saw what went on there. They were complying with everything that they were asking them to do. And yet Sergeant Steroid pulls a gun on one of them because he cannot get his arm high enough due to a shoulder injury. That's the kind of mess we see going on. And I promise you, Sergeant Steroid has probably been promoted. He's still with Fort Worth PD. And the list runs on. And one of the latest was the sheriff's deputy. I think, that was in Barnett, city of Barnett, Texas. Burnett. Anyway, the sheriff's deputy, he's running around a couple of bikers that had been on a long trip. They were getting a drink, and this was at the beginning of the COVID-19 mess. And so they stopped after a long trip to get a drink, use the restroom, and they come out and the sheriff deputies run around their bikes with a canine and his dog running around their bikes. No probable cause, no nothing. He said he did it because he could. And let me tell you, that smart ass right there, got his name written down here somewhere. It was Coffee or something like that. Anyway,
sounds close.
he did it because he could. And let me tell you, that's another bad apple. That's an accident waiting to happen. It's what that young man is, in my opinion. And of course, we've got all these names written down, and we keep looking. We keep looking out there. We keep expecting something to happen. But you guys, what happened in Minneapolis is mind-boggling. And especially since his partner stood by and tried to actually shield people that were filming what was going on. And the people that were there were saying, hey, let him up. You're killing him. He's saying he can't breathe. And that son of a bitch stood there and did nothing to stop what was going on. And OG, I think that guy should be an accomplice in whatever they charge him with. Do you think that's going to happen? I do believe they're in deep trouble.
Well, if you take a look at what happened, obviously it looks bad.
Yeah.
And but we have to remember, this is the United States of America.
Yeah.
We have a constitution, and due process needs to take place. Now, we've seen a video of what happened after they had the guy cuffed and on the ground. And it definitely looks bad for the officers, his partner, and the other two officers that responded in another unit.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little surprised that, that the mayor and the chief of police immediately fired the officers. That was a little surprising to me. I expected them to be immediately suspended,
mm-hmm.
pending an investigation. I'm not saying it was necessarily wrong. It was just kind of surprising, but I think it was a knee-jerk political decision because they knew the wrath of the community was about to descend.
Yeah.
And they wanted to take some radical action. However, the community is looking for follow-up justice. They want to see more than a firing. I mean, and
oh, yeah.
rightfully so, if it is proven, that they actually killed this guy,
Mm-hmm.
then charges must follow. Now, if you'll remember back when that when that police officer killed that woman in the alley when he shot her,
Yeah.
and she was the one that had requested the unit to respond because she thought somebody was being assaulted
Yeah.
in the alley, and he was suspended, and eventually there were charges brought against him, and he ended up going to prison.
Yeah.
So this could very well happen to all four of them, because you have not only the perpetrator, you have the accomplices.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not they should have been fired immediately, or there should have been a procedure where they're suspended, the investigation, and then they're fired and then they're charged, which is what happened to this other officer. Nonetheless, I think it demonstrates with shock value to all other police departments in the country, especially the officers, that, hey, this could happen to you. This may be the new wave. There was one thing I did see today that I was very disappointed in, and that was somebody was posting on public media the officer who was kneeling on the guy's neck. They posted his home address.
Oh God.
Now, I personally feel that's despicable.
Yeah.
As pissed off as you may be at the situation and what those officers did, he has now placed that man's family in danger.
Right.
So, I just think it was despicable, and for whatever reason, they felt justified because it was part of a public record. What they did was they posted the tax record for that property
Mm-hmm.
that he lives on. So, you've got quite the situation going there. What I don't want to see happen, we've talked about bad apple cops
Yeah.
for quite some time, and things need to be done about it. I know from experience that being, I've got a son that's an officer, and he's told me a lot of what he runs up against out there on the street.
Yeah.
And trust me, there are some neighborhoods you got to watch it because you get attacked.
Yeah.
And if you don't meet force with force, you're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
And in those situations, we all tend to think about the neighborhood we live in and crap like that happening in our neighborhood. But if you look at the incidents that have occurred, they've occurred in areas that were probably a little questionable to begin with, and the officers are usually a little bit on tiptoe to begin with. But what you don't want to see happen here is for the pendulum to swing all the way to the other side, to where these officers actually possibly endanger themselves and or members of the public by hesitating too long before taking action.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this recent incident in Minneapolis does not qualify for that, because it wasn't a situation that was going down quickly. It was apparently a situation where there was just total freaking abuse. This was a nonviolent crime that they responded to begin
Right.
with. Someone called because they thought the guy was forging something. He was probably trying to pass a bad check.
Yeah.
So, we're not talking about a felony here and, meeting the thing with deadly force. You're talking about coming out to investigating something that's almost like shoplifting.
Mhm.
A violent crime has not been committed here.
Yeah.
So that's my point of view on the whole thing.
Yeah. And I guess the first things I think of when I see something like this is that particular move of putting your knee on someone's neck and continuing, continuing to affect their ability to breathe is just, especially when they're handcuffed and on the ground, for that to continue that long is just mind-boggling. And oh, gee, we had this discussion on Facebook today about everything being partisan. And I pointed out to everybody, everything out there today is political. Everything, including this. I know why they fired him, because great pressure is being put on the city of Minneapolis to do something and to get rid of the guy. First of all, firing. And then second of all, they're going to demand they prosecute the hell out of him. It is political. It's sad to say, but but it's like we pointed out many times in the courts here in Texas and across the country, you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. And I do believe that what we've seen here in Texas and elsewhere is law officers get the breaks that that we do not, as just regular American citizens. We do not get the breaks that they get. Now, in this case, I doubt these guys are going to they're going to suffer at the hands of these political parties and the demand for justice by the black community, because they've seen this time and time again, like we see it in the courts here in Texas time and time again, where the courts, law enforcement, will try and they come up with a narrative, then they go out there and try and put you into a crime that fits their narrative, like we see going on in Milam County and El Paso and other places. And one of our chat room members mentioned the FBI is going to get involved. Well, does that give you a warm and fuzzy feeling? Just saying. But everything today is political, whether it's this virus, whether it's your safety, whether it's your freedom, whether it's your Constitution. Everything today is political. Education, it's all political. The children have been indoctrinated they've been politicized. And maybe this what I said today, just maybe this COVID-19, everything that's been going on, the lockdowns that have been going on, the craziness that's been going on, young people are not going to put up with it. They're not going to put up with it. They want to go on and live their lives. They don't want to be locked in a room. They don't want to be held back from schooling. And if they're worried about their education, some are, some aren't. But what we see out there, everything is political. There's not nothing. There's not a thing that's not. Name something. Maybe a cooking show. Maybe. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head.
I don't like peppers.
And geezers don't like peppers. What the hell was that?
That made it political. I don't like peppers.
I mean, that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Police officers now have, if they don't get their way, not all of them, but a vast majority of them, if they don't get their way, if you don't automatically bow down to what they're demanding,
comply.
they get angry. And they don't just get angry and try to bust you for something else. They get angry and they try to hurt you. And I'm sure that's not all of them, but that's a lot of them.
Yeah. You know, and I would, I would be surprised if I did not mention Parker County and the sheriff out there and his deputies that he says lacked tact. Where bikers were hauled to jail for being over the white line, where bikers were told they were going to be arrested. They were going to be arrested because of what they were wearing. And you know, they're not smart enough. Those deputies were not smart enough to know that the patches that they were wearing are constitutionally protected. And being over the white line is, last I heard, is not a crime. Failing to give a turn signal is not a reason to haul someone to jail. But it happens here in Texas. Now, it has, because of what's going on with the coronavirus, and I'll have another drink of my Corona beer. Because of what's going on with the coronavirus, everything has been put into slow motion, OG. We were putting out feelers and looking at everything that's going on, and really, there's not a whole lot going on, even in our community. Now, there may be something that we don't know about. You know, other than maybe some of the accidents we hear about. And God bless everybody that's been in an accident here over the last few weeks who are just trying to get out into the sunshine and enjoy themselves and enjoy their brothers and sisters and their club members and even the independents they run into. Every place we've been has been nothing but camaraderie, brotherhood. And, more power to them. And, man, there's nothing like what's going on right now. We encourage everybody, listen here, young people, continue to do what you're doing. Stand up for yourselves. Get out there. You know, if you're not susceptible to COVID-19 like most people under 30 are, get out there and enjoy your life. Go for it. But as we've shown everybody, we're not going to be slaves to it. And we encourage business owners to get out there. You know, hey, you can open up at 50% right now. I know that it still doesn't guarantee a profit. Matter of fact, that's a hell of a task to make a profit with 50% occupancy. But I see one business after the other that's closing down around here, never to reopen. Never to reopen. If you have a chance to save your business, do it. If you need to open 100%, do it. Do it. Get with other people that have similar businesses. Get you a lawyer. You will not. You see the barber up in Michigan where they threatened him again and again and again, and they pulled his license, and now he's still cutting hair. Be bold. This is a time to be bold. This is a chance to take your country back. And you look at the blue states that are slow walking everything, tell them to go to hell. I'm opening up. I'm going to do what I want to do. You're going to arrest me? Well, hell, arrest all of us. Get together with others, hundreds of you, thousands of you. Get together and come up with a plan and take them on. Take them on. You got anything you want to add to that, OG or Geezer? Geezer, my man, a few words. You guys talk a minute. I got to drink a beer.
Go.
You hear that rambling by both of them? Yeah.
I agree that about covers it. No, it is. It's getting ridiculous. They expect us to, and I love all our frontline workers that have kept me in toilet paper and paper towels, but I'd like to make a living too. I'm still waiting on my first unemployment check.
Yeah. Geezer's out of work.
So I just assume work is wait on that.
That's right. OG, I know you're out of work.
You know I'm out of work
Yeah.
for luck.
I'm just kidding, everybody. OG's retired. He's a former Honeywell executive. Did you guys see that that posting of that C-17 with the eagle over it, where somebody had a problem?
Yeah, the Globemaster.
Yeah, C-17 Globemaster, and
that is awesome.
somebody had a problem with that picture. Said it was.
Why?
Said it was. What was their problem with it? They said it was. It came from the point of view that
It made us
it was
look-
un-American.
It made us look like aggressors or something.
Yeah, yeah. A C-17 is a cargo plane. I worked 10 years on it. Matter of fact, is I did the mock-up for the engines on all the tubing, drain tubes, electrical hydraulics on the engines, fan reversers and thrust reversers. It has both, and I did all the mock-up and engineering on that thing and on those engines, and spent 10 years on that before I retired, and I also did all the electrical and hydraulics on the vertical and horizontal stabilizers. But those engines were Pratt & Whitney 2037s is what they were. We put a fuel burning improvement package on them, added 5,000 pounds of thrust to each engine. And let me tell you, that airplane would land and take off in 1,600 feet, which it was required to do by the Air Force specs. And so, that's an awesome airplane. The picture was awesome. I do believe that picture was taken at Edwards Air Force Base, but that aircraft was not flight test 1 or 2 because I know what they look like. And so, but that was an incredible picture, and it was more than patriotic. It is a beautiful thing. And so, hats off to that crew and the person that put that picture together. It was wonderful. And so, take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it, and have a Corona beer.
Or a Bloody Mary.
Oh, so
Yeah. Are you the Bloody Mary yet, or?
Yeah, we're working on it.
he's got a damn quart bottle of Bloody Mary. What he's got, but this Corona is good. I don't have a lime though. I might have to get some limes. What else, you guys?
like you say, I hadn't seen much going on other than the same old, same old.
Mhm.
But one day on the corona, you'll hear that it's safe to go back to work, and then I guess the powers that be feel it's not, that we're going to have a second wave is what I keep hearing now.
Oh yeah, they keep talking. Yeah, well, that's the people that are out there trying to scare the half of the country that are still hiding in their homes. I've got a sister-in-law that hasn't been out since March 12th, who has not been out of her house, who's scared to frickin' death. And and of course believes everything that she sees on CNN. Matter of fact, she thinks Bill Gates is the answer to everything. If we would just listen to Bill Gates, everything would be all right.
It's not just CNN anymore either.
Yeah.
The Fox local news is doing the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Hey, wait a minute, you guys. Did either one of you see on the local news where they talked anything about President Trump getting the cost of insulin reduced?
No.
Let me tell you, that is a big deal. That is a big deal because I was taking insulin here recently after my cancer surgery. They had me on insulin to keep my blood sugar down because I was on all these steroids and all this other shit. And so, I said it. I said the word that get us put into another category. Anyway, the cost of insulin is staggering. Staggering. It can be, if you have one of those pens, it can be $200 to $500. And for now,
is that true? What they posted on Facebook that there's been a cheaper price negotiated,
yes.
or is that bullshit?
No, it's true. $35 through Medicare. And let me tell you, there are a lot of senior citizens that are diabetics. A huge amount, just because your system quits producing insulin like it should. And so there are millions of people that have been paying these outrageous prices, and now they're down. They've got it. You can get it at 35 cents for your insulin. I mean, $35 for your insulin instead of the hundreds that it costs. And believe me, that is exactly what it was costing. It can be any place from $200 to $500, depending on which insulin you're getting. And that is big, but it is being omitted from your local newscast. They're barely putting it out there. They want seniors to think that Donald Trump is not working for them. And let me tell you, the ones that are not working for them, the ones that want to see them into an early grave, guess who they might be. So, we know who's working for us. And everybody else has got to figure it out. It's not rocket science. I keep saying that over and over in my writings. None of this crap is rocket science. It's there for everybody to see what's going on. And if you can't figure it out, God bless you. Somebody needs to. Like my sister-in-law that is locked up in her house, scared to death to go out. I'm not going to let the damn coronavirus rule my life. It does a little, but I'm not going to live in fear every day. And I'm not going to hang.
You're going to Canton tomorrow.
That's right. I am. So, and hopefully Canton weekend, there's thousands of people out there. Because that community needs a shot in the arm. And there's not one community around here in Texas that doesn't need a shot in the arm. gas prices are going back up. And you know what? That's a good thing. We need the boys back in the oil fields producing energy. We need those are high paying jobs. We need them back. We need them back. And there's one side of the political spectrum that doesn't want that. They want as much damage done to the country as they can get done. And it's not too hard to figure out who in the hell that is. And you know, most of the bikers, although we're not all of the same political persuasion, there is one thing that we can generally tell. That's when somebody's bullshitting us. And bikers will give you the truth as they know it. It may be 100% wrong, but they're going to speak the truth as they know it. And you know, a lot of times, OG, we're ahead of the curve. We'll say stuff and all of a sudden we hear it in the news 3 weeks later. But you know what? It's a matter of common sense. A matter of common sense. All you got to do is look out there and have a little bit of an open mind. Some people say I'm closed-minded, but OG, I've been on both sides of the fence. I was a freaking union organizer. I know what the left side looks like. Shit. So, and I finally got smart, and that's when I became a constitutional member. I believe in the Constitution. I believe it has all the answers we need. It's the supreme law of the land. I took an oath to it, as you did.
As all of our police officers.
Oh, yeah, look, they got to decide whether they're going to be the Gestapo, which side they're going to be on. And matter of fact is, that's what a main part of our show was going to be tonight, is about law enforcement and the decisions they have to make. Are they going to follow these politicians that are coming up with these politicians that all of a sudden turned into dictators? Are they going to follow them? Or are they going to be on the side of the people? They've got some freaking decisions to make. And I would hope they're on the side of the people and not these politicians that are coming up with these screwball ideas. And for the first time in their lives, many of them, they now feel the power. They now feel the power. So by God, like I pointed out in that answer that I did today, as I pointed out, they want you to obey their every whim. It's their way or the highway. It's their way or jail. By God, you're not following my rules. Well, your rules have nothing to do with our constitutional rights when they're violating them. And they're doing it all in the name of health. And let me say this, you guys, we've talked about this. We've talked about it till we're blue in the face, that the science that has come out has been based on insufficient data from the beginning. And they're still learning about this virus. Just the other day, we were told, hey, it doesn't last on surfaces as long as we thought. Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't travel in water. So you're okay swimming. Even Dr. Siegel said, hey, you got to be around somebody that's sick 10 minutes to have a chance of catching it. But, I mean, they're scaring everybody to death. Wear your freaking mask. Hey, maybe we ought, you guys, maybe we ought to have a nationwide mask burning. Just a thought. Just a thought. What do you guys on the chat line think? You think we ought to have a mask burning?
Well, in Louisiana, isn't it still illegal to wear a mask if you're riding a motorcycle?
Well, I would assume it's probably still on the books, just in case they want to pull a unsuspecting biker over. Lori Bell, she said she's down with it. But hell yeah, maybe we'll put that on. We got, but you know, soon here, as our chapters grows, and you know, maybe pretty soon here in Texas, we'll have enough between all our chapters to go out and put on a small riot somewhere. Oh yeah.
What's wrong with my headphones?
What? Somebody say something about your
Yeah,
headphones?
geezer need new headphones.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you know what? I went out to buy a matching pair the other day, and I walked into Fry's, and you know what was in there? Nothing. I've never seen a store so empty in my life. I don't even know why they're open. There was nothing in there. Nothing that I wanted anyway. But it's been that way the last, 15 times I've been there. I never can find what I'm looking for. So I guess I'm going to have to get over to the guitar center and get some quality equipment.
These work good, though. I can hear.
Yeah, he does. Those. I've had those things for years that he got on. Matter of fact is they're so old, I don't think they have any foam left on them.
No, they don't. I can hear good out of them.
But this one right here that I'm wearing, and I know this is good theater, right? This one I'm wearing has wires that comes out here and goes over the geezer. So it can plug into this. So we hear the same stuff. But I don't know. Maybe we're going to attempt to do this pretty soon with no headphones. And we'll just see if it'll work with the with us listening through the speaker and we don't get feedback. But look, I'll go out and find somebody that knows something more than I do about it and get because when we do a live show, I can't show you the pictures I want to show you. So at some point we'll get back to producing the shows. They won't be live.
Can we just hold them up?
Yeah, we can if I could get the damn printer. Oh, hey, OG, this new printer I got right here. We're going to get our 9mm and go out to my sister's place and shoot it. I can't get the damn thing to work. It hadn't worked. It hadn't worked worth a damn since I got it. It's not 6 months old, but we're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. Hey, everybody, we will video it. We'll get our 9mm. And
We'll
I don't
put
know.
Nancy Pelosi's face on it.
Oh, God, man. Well, I'll get in trouble over that one. But I wouldn't mind doing that.
Or
Wouldn't mind
Michelle
doing that.
Obama.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're not going there.
Oh, okay.
No, we're not going there. But, hey, look, we'll have some fun with it. And, oh, yeah, I meant to last time. I meant to point out we also have drones. Yeah. We have drones. We have our own drones. So we can spy on people and shit. Law enforcement, what we want to do. And, but our only problem is once they take off, they don't come back. So, so I've lost 2 or 3 like that. It takes off, doesn't come back.
Maybe it's the pilot.
It is the pilot, I think. So, I see it, Ghost Eagle. I see it. We'll see what YouTube does with that one. Yeah, they may shut down our chat again. That's what they did last week. Evidently, somebody said something and they shut it down. So I don't know what it was, but you guys, let's discuss the censoring that's going on by Twitter. Now we don't use Twitter a whole lot. I mean, we have a presence there, but it's not big. And just because you can't get enough in, the reason I hate Twitter is because the limited words you can put in there. You know, because generally when I start rambling, it goes on for a page or two. So, but and I get the little short spurts of stuff you can say on there, but I just never have liked it. But they are censoring the president because he said that mail-in ballots is going to be nothing but a bunch of fraud. Anybody and everybody will be sending in stuff that there'll be ballot harvesting and all that kind of crap. So it's just the president's giving his opinion, and Twitter is censoring a opinion. So and he has a right to his opinion, in which that's an opinion I agree with. Yeah, it was. Look, if the progressives want it, there's a chance there's going to be a whole bunch of fraud involved in it. And anybody and everybody going to be voting, even people not of this country, even people that don't have the right to vote anymore. Now, I would think if you're a former inmate and you're off papers and you're back good with society, you should get your voting rights back. But I fight with myself over rights when you're still on paper. Although I do believe that there are so many people out there, and there's so many people out there that's been convicted of crimes that they did not commit. When we look at the work of the FBI, and we don't buy the fact that the FBI, that it was all at the upper echelon of the FBI, that from what I do believe is if it's that way at the top, it's that way at the bottom. It's going to be.
It always trickles down.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so you guys have let me ramble for almost 50 minutes. And the next show, you guys are going to carry the load. And I hear silence again. I need a drink.
Why change a good format?
Well, because I don't talk well anymore. Not that I ever did, but the cancer and the surgery has screwed me up to the point I no longer have any taste buds, but this Corona is cold.
You need some more of these hot Bloody Marys.
Yeah. You know what? I can take a Tabasco and put it in I can't even taste it.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe we need to make us a hand grenade beer.
Never had one of those.
Never had one?
No.
You know what it is?
Uh-uh.
It's beer with a shot of tequila dropped in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't call it that. We called it something else.
Yeah, well, get down to New Orleans, you can find a bunch of them.
I'm younger.
You can find a bunch of them down in New Orleans, everybody. That's where we all need to go. Down Bourbon Street and hand grenade beer and all the mess that goes on there. Oh, yeah. But we do like Mississippi also. Yeah. We had good times in Mississippi.
In Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee. And we were going to have our national in New Mexico this year. That's still kind of up in the air, guys, or has that been decided?
I think it's still up, isn't it, OG?
We put
we put you to sleep?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, New Mexico's still up in the air, right? I don't know if we're going to do it or not. The national.
We'll be talking about it on our national call next week.
All right, cool.
We'll be making some announcements.
Okay. look forward to that next week. You guys got anything you want to say in closing? Everybody, hi there on the chat line. Ghost Eagle.
Well, yeah, we've been a little remiss in not mentioning that we have a new chapter in Texas.
Yeah.
And our last RC chapter has ascended to MC status, or will, this next week.
Mm-hmm.
And they're located in Arizona.
There you go. There you go. Hey, in case you're a new subscriber, first of all, we want to thank you for subscribing and pass the word. And, you guys, our motorcycle club, who's all about the Constitution, we are defenders of the Constitution and those who've had their constitutional rights violated. And we do defend bikers' rights, no matter who you are, no matter where you are. And the injustice we see going on in the courts across the country and by law enforcement, like we showed some examples of it tonight, where bikers have been hauled to jail for minor traffic violations, stuff that the public does not get hauled to jail for. And so, and also major violations, they're accused of criminal carry when they are not criminal. And in particular, our gang databases, which we know are loaded with innocent people that do not belong there. People who have never been in trouble with the law. People that are still have been in it for years that are off paper that should now be out of the gang database. The list runs on and on of constitutional violations by the law enforcement and by the courts in Texas and across the country. Like we've said many times, you show up, you are innocent you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. Is that happening that way at the highest offices of the land? But we've been witnessing it happen for years and years and years to average people all across this state and all across our nation. It's time we say enough. It's time we say stand up, expose what's going on. There is a good old boy system out there where they all have each other's backs, and that is from the top on down to your city. It's happening at every level of government, at every level of law enforcement, including the FBI, which is turned into a politicized mess. And I think you guys, there are a lot of trials that a lot of people that have been convicted should be requesting new trials. Because many of them were trapped and either convicted or they pleaded guilty to something they did not do because they did not have the wherewithal to fight it. And we stand ready. We stand ready to take on these entities anytime, any place. As we grow across Texas and across this country, we'll be doing just that. So you guys, you want to wrap it up in closing? Got anything you want to add, Geezer?
You got to get covered.
OG?
No, it's been a good night.
Yeah, it has. Y'all let me rattle too much. And I can't even say rattle good anymore.
You do it good enough.
Well, hell. 4-time cancer survivor, that's me. The Lord has kept me around for some reason, and I think it's to do battle. with the forces of evil that exist within our government. And good night, everybody. Ride safe. Ride safe.
Be safe.
Like, it was good. I actually talked for a few minutes.